so shiny. I'm trying to figure out how to do this lighting over here. It's kind of like getting the chipmunk cheeks and the shine. I'm a greasy guy. Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing? Hello. I started before I was quite prepared. It's good to see you guys. I hope you're doing well. The first thing I gotta admit is I totally wore this jacket because because I'm indoors and I can because of the air conditioning. Because I never get to wear my jackets outdoors anymore because it's so hot here in Florida. Sometimes in the morning, if I'm taking a walk, I'm very lucky. But even then, it's totally impractical. But I still have my jacket, so sometimes I miss the jacket weather. But anyways. So I'm just going to get the big stuff out of the way really quick. It's been a while since I've updated, and I've been scatterbrained like crazy. Forgot to put on my wedding ring. I should keep that on, huh? Story of the Eye is essentially, for all it's worth, dead in the water. That's the big major thing as of late, on top of everything else that's been going on. This last couple of weeks, I've had this crazy experience with plumbers and getting these plumbing jobs done. The first one turned out to be a very eccentric character who plumbers, in my experience here in Florida, have been strange folks. But that's done. But Story of the Eye is essentially over for now because there's a lot of reasons. So if you're interested, I'll let you know right now, because I don't really want to do a personal video about it on the channel. It's kind of embarrassing, and that's not necessarily the reason I don't want to do it, because if it was really pertinent, then I would. But I think, letting you guys know where it stands is enough. I mean, I think you guys are the most interested anyways. But, I don't want to take up time from the reviews. But this is what happened. Basically, last we talked about it, we had the issue with the rights with Julie Bataille, and that created this impasse. And everybody left the room in that time while we were trying to get a clear answer and have these meetings and talk about it and talk with Julie, his daughter, and all this stuff. And so the investors are gone, the creative producers are gone, and all this momentum that got built up that I was very excited about, maybe too excited earlier in the year, just going to turn this down a little bit, just vanished, it evaporated, it died, it's over. So, my creative producer, Brian, was just like, yeah, it's going to take years now to get all that back up if you want to do this at all. So I said, okay, well then, I think we're going to just leave it at that. Because what it ended off on was like, I said, hey, to George Bataille's daughter, I said, hey, Julie, would you like to I'd like to discuss having a creative collaboration. So you don't have to worry about the authenticity of the film, and we can work together, make sure we get this right. And by the end of it, the publishing company, who had been the middleman between her and I, said, we'd love to have you send could you send a DVD of your work with your producer's work? Could you send a DVD? I don't think I've burned a DVD in like 6 or 7 years. But anyways, that was besides the point. The point was that, I really am not that experienced, and I had been operating under the assumption that they actually knew all of this, and that I had been working on this film for the last, 5, 6 years. And I don't have all of this material to show them. Rather, what I've been trying to do, which may have been the grand mistake, my big mistake, was bypass the whole having a whole bunch of experience and being well known by trying to get big names and a lot of key players on board to sell the film to investors, like Chris Doyle and all that. So that didn't work at all, and it flopped in the end I just said no. Okay, we're gonna pass. No, I'm not going to burn you a DVD. And I'm not going to go through this and then wait 3 more weeks to hear back from you, if ever. It's just completely insane. So it's like $10,000 lost in like 5 years of my life. Okay. All right. So moving on. That's that. I shed no tears. Frankly, I'm more excited about Better Than Food anyways right now. But yeah, if any of you guys have recalibrated your goals and your creative positions after a period of time, after pursuing a project for that long, and putting, almost all your eggs in one basket, I'd love to hear about it. It's like I think like Werner Herzog, many filmmakers go say you can't have a plan B. You cannot have a plan B. You just have to be a filmmaker. It's like, well, what if you want to be, what if you want to direct art house films, but then the art house audience is gone, which is the state we find ourselves in right now. I just watched an interview with David Lynch the other day, regarding Twin Peaks, and he said, the art house is dead. And the interviewer said, well, since you feel that the art house is dying, he says, not dying, dead. And it is dead. In the sense that if you go out to an art house theater and see a film, you're kind of like going to a small museum now. This is not something that makes money anymore, and I think it very quickly kind of burnt out in the span of, the last, 5 or 10 years. This whole thing has really changed the whole game, and that's fine. And I should have, I was sort of half ready for this because I've been paying attention and I've been watching this whole thing go. I think there were things I could have done differently to give the film a better shot, but I never would have been able to make it in my 20s and really had a go at it and gotten as far as I did had I chose another path. So I risked a lot to try and get it made, and it failed, and that's that. But I don't regret it. I tried, and I got close. I got really close to making a crazy movie, like a batshit crazy movie from an obscure French intellectual who kind of as an American or whatever, just some crazy shit. I don't know. I got to use it for something, the whole experience, because there's some goofy stories in there. But that's over now. So yeah, if you've had experience working on something that hard for that long, and having it come to essentially like just not, especially in a really anticlimactic and frankly kind of stupid and what do I want to say? Just kind of cheap, dumb way. I don't have the words. I'm not articulate enough. I'd really love to hear about it, but I'm not going to sulk, And I don't know if filmmaking is really going to be my thing now. I'm having to really rethink the whole thing. I'm just going to rattle off on this so you can kind of skip ahead and as you will for this video, because I'm just gonna ramble a little bit, if that's all right with you. Because I really grew up, I loved Dead Man by Jim Jarmusch, and I loved all these art house films, and I just got like snobbier and snobbier as I got older, and now kind of like I look back on the whole thing, and I just don't even like I don't even like watching films. I love watching films with my wife. I love watching films with my friends, usually because those are films we love. I don't enjoy going to the theater anymore, as I think is the case with many, 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 many people. And I don't think that there are any important films out right now at all. And I don't think that doesn't mean I don't think the medium is the most comprehensive, exemplary form that we have. I do. I think it's the most magnificent thing we've ever come up with. but there's no money in it, and there's not even enough money to make the films, really. So it's like you could try, like it's tough. So I have one in me. I have one short film and then maybe feature that I'll do. I'm gonna see. I got pretty jaded over the last year. Has really particularly been, going to Cannes, seeing what that is if you make it, if you're a success, and meeting some of my heroes, and doing the whole thing. I'm not sure it's for me. So, in that case, it's like, well, you bet on that. So now it's like, what do you do? Okay, 28 years old, reviewing books on YouTube, which I love. I love speaking with you guys. It's been infinitely more rewarding than anything I've done cinema related, and let me be the first to say, having discussions with you guys and helping people to whatever small degree I can has been very, very rewarding. So that's certainly something to pay attention to. But now, where do we go from here? I'm not sure. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to keep writing, and I'm going to try to expand better than food in the midst of, getting this foundation solidified over on this end with the house and this new lifestyle change, which I can highly recommend, by the way, if anybody was ever thinking about settling down. I guess you could call this settling down. I'm not going to settle down, but I love this. This has been fantastic. So, okay, I think that's enough for that. Story of the eye failed. Maybe not tragically, but stupidly. Okay. And I'm going to continue making book reviews on YouTube. Let's see. Right now, I am reading James Joyce's Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I was flip-flopping around that between that and The Wild Palms by Faulkner, but for now it's James Joyce. And I gotta commit to these books to finish them sometimes because I like hop around. I'm like, well, I'm not really feeling the first 50 pages, so maybe I'll go to this. It's a very bad habit. Don't do it. Stick with it. So I'm going to read the rest of A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man. I'm about 171 pages into Maps of Meaning, and that is a hell of a text. Dense, not particularly difficult, except for the neuroscience stuff towards the beginning. That's pretty intense. But a beautiful book, incredible book. I'll tell you, I'm going to be happy to finish it, but I mean, there's just highlight after highlight in there. It's really wonderful. I'm going to be speaking with Peterson on the 26th, so we're going to see how that goes, and it should be very exciting. In the meantime, these books aren't exactly fun to read. Joyce is okay, but I mean, it's a little challenging, but what I really want to read right now, what I'm trying to keep myself from stopping the others and picking up, is this little puppy, which you could totally expect I would shuttle to the top, is William Lindsay Gresham's Nightmare Alley, with a nice introduction by Nick Tosches. This cover is just incredible. Look at that thing. It's just this kind of like sideshow circus freak cover, NYRB, New York Review of Books. They did a perfect design on this, as they do with most of the stuff they release, and really love these guys. That's going to be great. And that's what I've got on the shelf. Let me see, what else? Any other updates? Going to the Keys. Gonna go do that, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. Watching the new Twin Peaks, about the only thing I have been watching, other than old films like Notorious by Alfred Hitchcock, with Cary Grant and Ingrid Bergman. Actually, there is one film I wanted to tell you guys about for all of you cinema lovers who just are like me, relentlessly snobby and just poo-poo everything that has come out after 1975. I don't know. It's horrible. I watched Brief Encounter, which was written by Noel Coward, which was phenomenal. Great film. One of the most tragic love stories I've ever seen. Yeah, my wife and I watched that and had me, it's embarrassing. I was like bawling, like in the first 15 minutes or something. Not bawling, but I mean, very few things seem to make me cry other than music early in the morning. If I listen to like Gorky or Arvo Part in the morning, then all of a sudden I'm like really, I don't know what it is about the morning, I'm like fresh or something, really emotional. And I think while traveling, I don't know. But Brief Encounter really hit me hard, and very English, very witty. Again, Noel Coward. I think he wrote the play, and the film was adapted from the play. Brilliant. Really, really highly recommend that film. Yeah, I think that's all I've got for now. So go watch Brief Encounter, please. Watch new Twin Peaks if it's your thing. It's pretty good. It's got some good moments. Follow along with Maps of Meaning. I want to give some pithy answer to kind of like summarize. Like, I don't, the question of like following your dreams, is it good or not? Right? Is the thing. It's like, because you go along with something for this long enough, and you get far enough, and then it collapses. You really wonder, or implodes, or whatever you want to call it. It just doesn't work. Then you're really wondering, well, was it a good idea to follow your dream or not? I don't know. I feel like it could be later. I feel like I'm in the process of learning something really big, but I don't know what it is yet. So I can't really talk about it or articulate a concise answer or give you any sort of really, really authentic reflection. I just don't have it yet. I'm kind of in the middle of the shocking news. So yeah, there's that. But I'm the luckiest guy I know. I'm not crying about it. I'm ready for the next thing. So, with that, thank you very much for all of your support, for giving a fuck at all, for giving a damn about any of this, and for supporting the channel, and for supporting Better Than Food, and allowing me to talk about these books and hopefully have a positive impact on other people's lives, in spite of a lot of the negative or quote unquote material that I read. I think a lot of it does actually have a positive impact on people's lives. So thank you very much for all the support and for all the kind words and, all that good stuff. So, yeah. All right. Hope everyone is doing well. Take care and have a good one. Talk to you soon. Read those books. And always remember, life is far too short to read bullshit. Have a great night. Ciao.